Snowflakes drifted in slow circles, settling on the cold pavement like tiny pieces of a broken wish. And in the middle of that soft snowfall stood Elena, staring at the empty chair across from her in the Christmas cafe, abandoned, rejected, and humiliated. Her blind date had taken one look at her, muttered, "Not my type," and walked out before she could even say hello. It was supposed to be her first Christmas not spent alone in years. Instead, she sat frozen in place, holding back tears she had promised herself she wouldn't cry. She didn't know that someone very small, with big eyes and an even bigger heart, had been watching her. And that little girl was about to change her entire life. The rejection. Elena's friends had convinced her to try a holiday blind date event. Christmas magic works best when you give it a chance, they had said. But magic felt very far away as she stared at the untouched hot chocolate in front of her. Her wool scarf was still wet from the snow, and her hands trembled with embarrassment. Maybe she was too quiet. Too ordinary. Too forgettable. She had grown up without a family, raised in foster homes, never having anyone choose her, not for birthdays, not for holidays, and certainly not for love. Tonight had been her chance to change that. And it just slipped away with the closing cafe door. She grabbed her coat, ready to leave, ready to accept that Christmas just wasn't meant for people like her. That's when she felt a gentle tug on her sleeve. The little girl. "Hi," a tiny voice whispered. Elena turned and saw a little girl around 6, wearing rainbow mittens and pigtails that bounced like they had a life of their own. She held a small cookie shaped like a heart. "You look sad," the girl said softly. "My name is Hope." "Like the Christmas star." Elena blinked. "Hello, Hope." "I'm okay. Just a long day." The girl frowned. "My dad says grown-ups lie like that when their hearts hurt." Elena let out a breathy laugh despite herself. "Your dad sounds wise." Hope nodded proudly. "He's the best. But he's sad too, and lonely." Before Elena could respond, the cafe door swung open and a man rushed in, tall, soaked from the snow, breathless. "Hope. You can't just walk away like that. You scared me." Then he froze when he saw Elena. Hope tugged his sleeve. "Daddy, she's the one." "The one what?" he asked, confused. Hope looked up at Elena, eyes wide with innocence and bravery. "The one who can be my new mom." An impossible request. Elena's breath caught. The father, Daniel, looked mortified. "I'm so sorry," he said quickly. "She's been saying that a lot lately. Her mother passed away 2 years ago. Christmas is hard for her." Instantly, Elena's heart softened. "It's okay. She didn't upset me." But Hope was not done. "She's perfect, Daddy. She looks like someone who needs a family too." Elena felt like someone had reached into her chest and squeezed her heart. How could a child see so deeply? Daniel knelt. "Sweetheart, you can't just choose someone like that. That's not how things work." Hope crossed her arms. "Why not? You always say Christmas is for miracles." Elena swallowed. The warmth in that little girl's eyes, something she had longed for all her life, made her want to stay, even though she knew she shouldn't. Daniel sighed and looked at Elena apologetically. "She's persistent. And she has good instincts, but—" "I don't mind sitting with you both for a while," Elena interrupted quietly. She didn't know why she said it. But something inside her whispered that she wasn't meant to walk away. Hope shrieked with joy, grabbed Elena's hand, and pulled her toward their table. And for the first time in many years, Elena didn't feel like an outsider. She felt chosen. The connection. They ordered warm pastries and hot chocolate. Snow glimmered outside like falling stars. Daniel watched Elena interact with Hope, with patience, kindness, laughter. "Hope doesn't warm up to people easily," he said softly. "But with you, I don't understand it." Elena shrugged shyly. "Kids have a way of seeing truth." Hope leaned against Elena's arm, already comfortable. "Do you like us?" Daniel cleared his throat. "Hope." "Yes," Elena said. "I do." And she meant it. Challenges they faced. As the evening unfolded, stories spilled out. Daniel shared how he worked 2 jobs to keep things stable, How he worried he wasn't enough for Hope, how guilt weighed on him every day. Elena opened up too, something she rarely did. She told them about growing up without a family. About years of being passed between homes. About holidays spent alone, watching other families through windows. Hope listened with wide eyes, then slid her tiny hand into Elena's. "You can be in our family," she whispered. "We have space." Daniel's voice trembled. "Hope, she doesn't mean." "Yes, I do," Hope said firmly. "We need her." But the challenges were real. Elena feared being unwanted again. Daniel feared giving Hope false hope. Hope feared losing someone she loved, again. Fear filled the empty spaces between them. But so did something else, something warm, new, fragile. Possibility. The resolution. When the cafe closed, Daniel offered to walk Elena home. Snow covered the streets like a soft blanket. Halfway there, Hope slipped her hand into Elena's again. "Elena," she whispered, "I made a Christmas wish. Do you want to know what it was?" Elena nodded. "I wished for a mom who would stay." Elena stopped walking. Her chest ached. Tears filled her eyes. Daniel stepped closer, his own voice thick. "I'm not asking for anything," he said. "But I'd like to see you again. If you'd want that. For dinner. For company. For whatever this could be." Hope beamed. "For family." Elena covered her mouth, overwhelmed. "Nobody has ever wanted me like this," she whispered. Daniel gently touched her shoulder. "We do." And Hope threw her arms around Elena's waist. "Then stay with us. Not forever yet. Just for Christmas. Dad says good things grow slow." Elena knelt and pulled her into a hug. "Yes," she said through tears. "I'll stay." The final message. That night, under the soft glow of Christmas lights, three lonely hearts found each other. Not perfectly. Not instantly. But beautifully. Elena realized something she had never known before. Family isn't always the one you're born into. Sometimes, it's the one brave enough to choose you. And the one you finally choose back. And that Christmas, a little girl's question changed everything. "Can you be my new mom?" It wasn't just a wish. It was a beginning. A beginning Elena never thought she deserved. Until love proved that she did. Elena didn't sleep much that night. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Hope's tiny hands wrapped around her waist, felt the warmth of her trust, heard her soft whisper. "You can be in our family." It had been years since anyone spoke to her with such pure love. She lay awake, staring at the faint glow of the streetlight through her window, wondering if she had imagined everything. Was it real? Was she really wanted? The next morning, she woke to a message from Daniel. "Hope hasn't stopped talking about you. If you're free, we'd love to see you today." Her heart raced. No one had ever sent her a message like that on Christmas morning. She hesitated, fingers hovering above the screen. What if it was too fast? What if she disappointed them? What if Hope changed her mind? Then another message came. "No pressure. Even a walk. Or hot chocolate. Whatever feels okay." Hope had added a voice note, her excited little voice filling the silence of Elena's small apartment. "Hi Elena. It's me. We're baking cookies. But Daddy burned the first ones. Can you come help before he burns the house?" Elena burst into a laugh she didn't expect. And just like that, her fear loosened its grip. She replied, "I'll be there soon." The first Christmas together. Daniel and Hope lived in a modest house at the end of a quiet snowy street. A plastic snowman stood outside, slightly leaning to one side, wearing a crooked hat that told Elena children lived here. Hope flung the door open even before Elena finished knocking. "Elena. You came," she squealed, wrapping her arms around her legs like she had been waiting her whole life. Daniel appeared behind her, an apron covered in flour tied badly around his waist. He scratched the back of his neck with an embarrassed smile. She insisted on waiting by the door every 5 minutes. Hope tugged Elena inside. "We saved the good cookies for you." The house smelled like cinnamon, hot chocolate, and warmth, real warmth. Not the kind that comes from heaters, but the kind born from people who care. It was the first time Elena had ever walked into a home that felt like Christmas. The cookie disaster. Hope dragged her to the kitchen, proudly pointing at a tray of questionable cookies. They were shapes in the approximate direction of stars, bells, and hearts, but half of them looked like they had melted in fear. Daniel groaned. "Don't judge me." Elena grinned. "Oh no, these are perfect." Hope whispered, "He's bad at baking." "I heard that," Daniel said, pretending to be offended. Elena picked up a cookie and took a dramatic bite. "This is the best crooked star I've ever eaten." Hope giggled. Daniel smiled the way someone does when they feel seen. Something about this simple moment, the messy cookies, Hope's laughter, Daniel's shy glances, wrapped around Elena's heart like a gentle blanket. Learning each other. They spent the afternoon decorating the small Christmas tree that leaned slightly to the right. Hope insisted on placing every ornament herself. "This one is Mommy's," she said softly, holding a small ceramic angel. Daniel froze for a moment, but Elena knelt beside Hope. "It's beautiful," she whispered. Hope nodded. "We put it high so she can see everything." Elena helped her lift it toward the top, and Daniel watched with a quiet expression, grief, gratitude, and something like hope all mixed together. Later, when Hope went to get her crayons, Daniel finally spoke. "I wasn't sure about today," he admitted. "I didn't want to overwhelm you." "You didn't," Elena said gently. "It feels nice. New. But nice." Daniel exhaled with relief. "Hope really likes you." "It scares me a bit. She hasn't connected with anyone this fast since her mom." Elena looked toward the hallway where Hope hummed Christmas songs. "I like her too. Maybe, because we're both missing something. Or maybe you're both finding it," Daniel said quietly. Her chest tightened, but in a good way. A moment of truth. That evening, as they prepared to eat the slightly burned dinner Daniel made, the electricity flickered. A winter power outage swept through the neighborhood. Hope shrieked. Daniel sighed. Elena lit the candles on the dining table. Suddenly, the room glowed with soft golden light. The three of them sat close so they could share the warmth. Hope leaned her head on Elena's arm. "Are you staying tomorrow too?" Elena froze. Daniel looked at her, nervous again. "Only if you want to. There's no expectation." Hope whispered, "Please." Elena swallowed hard. For years, her life had been filled with empty Christmases, quiet dinners, and loneliness she pretended didn't hurt. But right now, in this candlelit room, with this little girl leaning on her, and this gentleman watching her with hope in his eyes, she felt something she had never felt before. Home. "I'll stay," she said softly. "I'd love to." Hope squealed so loudly the candles flickered. Daniel's shoulders relaxed, and a soft smile curved on his lips. "We're glad you're here." The strong ending of Chapter 2. As the snow fell outside and candles glowed inside, Elena realized something. This wasn't just another Christmas. This wasn't just a visit. This wasn't just kindness. It was the start of healing, for all three of them. Hope was finding a mother's warmth again. Daniel was finding a partner in the pain he carried. And Elena. She was finally finding a family she never had. Not by fate. Not by chance. But by a little girl's brave question. "Can you be my new mom?" And Elena's heart was slowly learning to answer. "Maybe I can."